Everybody knows Monster Jam not just American anymore. It's a worldwide phenomenon, and this week we come to you from north of the American border. Toronto, Ontario, Canada. A huge lineup, a huge floor, and the fans are fired up for what's going to be a great night of Monster Jam racing and freestyle coming up next. Who's ready for Monster Jam? Again, everybody, welcome to Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and the Rogers Center for Monster Jam. I'm Scott Douglas, looking forward to this huge night, an awesome facility, and what a great field. And at the end of the day in racing, the fans are getting what they came to see. The renewal of the greatest rivalry in motorsports. Team Maximum Destruction and Team Gravedigger have both earned their way into the finals. But Max D will be represented not by Tom Meents, but by Craig Christensen. However, for Team Gravedigger, it's the creator, it's the founder, the icon of Monster Jam, Dennis Anderson in the other lane. There you get a look at Craig Christensen. He's already had a wild night, tearing the body off the truck, but he's been winning races, and his opponent is Dennis Anderson, who started the Gravedigger team 27 years ago, and almost unbelievable to say this, but this year is in the midst of his greatest season ever, looking for another racing victory, and he's off to a great start. Christensen may have a little weight advantage here. He's taking all the body weight off there, but Digger is flying. Dennis Anderson and Gravedigger airing it out, and he is able to really open it up over Craig Christensen and Maximum Destruction. The winner is Dennis Anderson.
We're going to grab him out of the truck, and I want you to give him a big Canadian welcome and applause. Here he is, Dennis Anderson and Gravedigger. You know, Dennis, often we talk about you. We talk about Dennis Anderson and we talk about Gravedigger, but this truck, unbelievable all weekend, and we can attribute that to one thing, and that's your crew.
Yeah, that's right. You know, Dustin Brown and Opie back here, better known as Nathan on his ID. These guys have been great to me. You know, I don't do this by myself. It's a good thing I don't have to do it by myself anymore, but thanks to 27 years of success and all you fans up there making this team who we are today, buying those T-shirts and hats and every nut and bolt on my truck and every shingle on my roof. But you know, man, haven't been to Canada, probably hadn't been to this side over here in right around 20 years. So my debt was due to you guys, and I'm still paying you off right now. I won the race, and it's an honor to come out here in front of all these Canadian fans and win. And you know, I didn't know you guys loved me personally this much until yesterday at the pit party, until we started getting some emails. Thank you guys for loving me very much, man. These guys come down to the dungeon. They've got pictures of them at my house. That's a wonderful thing. I love you guys, and I am not done paying my debt to you yet. We've got freestyle to go, and I'll guarantee you one thing. I will not let you down. I may not win a trophy, and I may not get first place, but I'm going to satisfy you guys, and that's a promise.
All right, here we go. There he is, your racing champion, ladies and gentlemen, Dennis Anderson and Gravedigger.
Our thanks to Monster Jam's premier Canadian announcer, Darren Palin, a native of Canada, handling the announcing duties on the floor for us here. Well, let's get to the freestyle competition. And Medusa, the former world freestyle and world racing champion, a two-time winner of the most coveted prize in Monster Jam. She took a couple of years off of the Monster Jam circuit, so everybody thrilled that Medusa is back. But for her and her team, it's trying to put the chemistry together kind of on the fly, because they came out a couple of weeks into the season, and for Medusa, the truck looks the same, but that's about all. It's a brand new team, everybody working on the truck, brand new to Medusa and her driving style, and the equipment itself also brand new. So a real learning experience, kind of back to square one for arguably the most accomplished female in the history of Monster Jam. And again, the bottom line is, it is absolutely awesome to have her back in the sport, and you know it won't be long before she'll be knocking off racing and freestyle wins once again. She comes out early in the draw, coming out first in this freestyle competition, looking to set the bar high for some big freestyle guns coming up a little bit later. And of course, we'll see later Dennis Anderson try to win yet another Double Down trophy, something he has been doing with regularity on this Monster Jam season. A nice slap wheelie from Medusa, again trying to find her way on this big floor. And here in the Rogers Center in Toronto, one of the things the drivers have to avoid is what we call getting lost. There's just so much room to work with. You want to go from move to move, and if it looks like you're just kind of driving around looking for something to hit, that tends to be a negative with the judges. Now the clock is counting down, so Medusa will fill the 90-second regulation clock, and that will allow her to go into bonus time. 3 judges score the first 90 seconds based on a 1 to 10 scoring system, so the top score you can get for regulation is 30. Then a separate judge will judge the bonus time, where that judge can add up to 5 points to each performer's score, depending on how they perform in the bonus time alone. Medusa, just a 14 in regulation, 1 bonus point, so 15 is the score to beat. The fans are having a great time at the Rogers Center in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And you want to make sure you live it live anytime that Monster Jam is in your neighborhood. You want to make sure that you come on out and catch Monster Jam competition live, because there's just nothing like it. We also enjoy you being here with us on Monster Jam television as the Warrior hits the track in the freestyle competition. Now, once again, Monster Jam action here in Toronto, Ontario, Canada features a huge floor and a lot of room for these drivers, but they've got to really figure out a way to keep up a good high energy run that goes from maneuver to maneuver. Now right now Medusa has the score to beat as she has gotten us started with a 15. And again, to just recap the scoring quickly, each truck gets 90 seconds of what we call regulation time. A 3-judge panel makes the decisions on that 90 seconds. They can score anywhere from 1 to 10. We'll add those scores together. That's your regulation score. And then if you fill the clock and go into the bonus period, a separate judge can add up to 5 points to the score. And as we've seen so many times this year, you've just got to be able to pick up at least some bonus points if you're going to win at this high level of Monster Jam competition that freestyle has become. You know, Monster Jam trucks got started. Of course, the sport really just got its infancy about 30 years ago. And of course, now we're building up to a point where we're even seeing second generations. We'll see some second generation racers in this field in freestyling here in the Monster Jam action as the Warrior continues on and will fill the clock. So now for Roger Cardo, can he add any points in the bonus period? Roger Cardo behind the wheel of the Warrior in freestyle competition here in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Going into the bonus time, again, a couple of hits there, but not really carrying a lot of momentum, and that is something that's probably going to be tough for him to get a whole bunch of bonus points, although he is continuing on and giving the fans, again, a run that fills every possible second, which is one of the things that obviously the fans love and the judges will reward as well. The scores, as you can see, a total of 13 with a bonus of 1 for Roger Cardozo. The Warrior will settle into second place early on behind Medusa, who continues to be our leader. We'll take a look at some of the better shots from the Warrior right there. Now, Lenny Kilder on the track in the Prowler. We have talked on Monster Jam before about Alan Pizzo's team, a team that's been around for more than 25 years, now based in Brentwood, Tennessee. That's the team that obviously starts with the team owner, Alan Pizzo, who drives the Predator. Well, this is one of his other trucks, the Prowler, and Lenny Kilder has become one of the better drivers that is on Team Pizzo, and he's done a great job over the years since getting behind the wheel of the Prowler. You can see already some body damage. Of course, that's not going to hurt the performance as Lenny Kilder looking to rip it up here in the Prowler. Early on, and again, the score to beat just a 15, but you know, in this competition, you've got to show the judges something to be able to get over that number, and no, he's not going to do it. The truck breaks early, and the score's going to be low, as it is just a total of 7. Got in a couple of pretty good licks early, and again, we saw the body damage, but obviously there was more than just body damage, some problems with the truck as well. Well, here's a guy who's known for always putting on a great freestyle show, and he comes out strong, Andy Slifko in the Eradicator, the veteran, whose son now also is a Monster Jam driver. His son Jeremy Slifko drives the backdraft truck that's also here in Toronto. But right now we're talking about Danny, and that's the Eradicator on the track. And Andy Slifko over the years has been one of these guys that kind of sails in under the radar sometimes. And when he gets to town, the fans may not have known much about the Eradicator before they get to the show. But after they see Andy freestyle, they'll generally remember the Eradicator. Known for the spectacular. Let's see what he's got for us here in the Rogers Center. Again, it's set up for him to be able to grab the lead. The lead score right now just a 15. Medusa continues to be in the #1 spot, but she's getting a challenge right here as Slifko had a strong start. Now, can he go this next 40 seconds of regulation with some more big moves? If he can, we certainly will be looking at a new leader. Andy Slifko comes from Pottsville, Pennsylvania. That's where he calls home. And the Eradicator. Nice moves there. And again, that's something else the judges look for. Combinations. One move rolling right into the next. Freestyle in today's world needs to have a nice rhythm and a nice flow. Something that Slifko understands and is doing a pretty nice job of here in Toronto. Rolls over that center bandstack that's right in the center of the Rogers Center floor. Where this building has been around for a while, but a new name, formerly known as the Sky Dome. Now the Rogers Center in Toronto, Ontario, Canada has been hosting Monster Jam events for years. And the fans here in Toronto love the big trucks, and the drivers all love performing on this floor where they've got a lot of room to work with and some big obstacles to hit. So Andy Slifko has filled regulation now in bonus time, but again, in the bonus, there may be something wrong. He really is just kind of driven around in the bonus rather than making any big moves. Well, now he's going to send into some donuts. This may be able to help him score a little bit. Andy Slifko. Nice set of Cyclone-style donuts. Look at the wheels actually lift off the floor. Nicely done to finish it up. He will get 3 bonus points for that, and Slifko blows into the lead with a total score of 24. That's now the number to beat, but believe me, some heavy hitters are still coming up who can do just that. Monster Jam Freestyle ready to continue as we are at the Rogers Center in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and a new leader on the board as everybody will now be in action trying to knock Andy Slifko and Eradicator out of the #1 spot. And the first guy to try and take up that challenge, Lou Antonazzi, behind the wheel of the Broker. Another veteran who's had several years of Monster Jam experience as Antonazzi will try again to top the 24 points. That's the score that we saw from Andy Slifko and the Eradicator just a little bit ago. Once again, trying to get that momentum going. Momentum is going to be a big key to winning this competition, and we've got some guys coming up like Dennis Anderson later, and certainly Craig Christensen, Chuck Warner, guys who really will keep that momentum going, and that's the biggest challenge right now probably for the Broker is Antonazzi hitting some nice types of sky wheelies, but again, looking to get some of that real ragged edge, high energy freestyle that the fans and the judges are looking for. I think he wanted to see if he could get to what we call a slap wheelie with that move, but he didn't get quite the bounce off the cars that he had hoped and ends up just having to roll out of it. So the Broker struggling just a little bit in this freestyle competition as his time winding down. It looks like he will fill the clock. I'm sure he's hoping to get a few more big moves into that 90 seconds to give the judges a little bit more to think about. Indeed, though, Antonazzi will fill the clock, and now the Broker going into bonus time. And as we've mentioned several times here in Monster Jam Television this season, hard to see anybody winning these major events in this type of competition without being able to fill regulation and pick up those critical bonus points, because a couple of extra points often already has meant the difference between who wins and who comes in second in Monster Jam competition. And indeed, the Broker is adding to his total by rolling through the bonus period and hitting some more moves. And certainly has hit everything on the track, has done a good job in that regard. The judges probably just not going to reward him again because of the momentum that wasn't quite matched up to what we saw Andy Slifko able to do a little bit earlier. Still a solid run. It's going to be, again, a total of 13 with a bonus of 2, so 15 points for Lou Antonazzi and the Broker. Once again, the only thing that run lacked was a lot of flow and momentum. He certainly was able to hit some moves, hit everything on the track, and get some nice sky wheelie versions there, as you see in our highlights package, taking a look at Lou Antonazzi and the Broker. Well, the competition continues with a guy who really has been emerging as a top-level driver, and look at that air from Chuck Warner and the Bulldozer. Now this truck is fielded out of the Team Mentz camp in Paxton, Illinois. Of course, that's headed up by 7-time world champion Tom Mentz. Chuck Warner for years has been one of the top mechanics in that shop, and he still does a lot of the mechanical work on all of the Team Mentz trucks. And so for Chuck, this is kind of like the reward. He now gets to drive the Bulldozer in competition, and he still keeps turning those wrenches whenever he's not behind the wheel. And one of the nicest guys in the sport to boot. A lot of folks really enjoy at the pit parties before the show, the fans that is, getting a chance to meet Chuck Warner, and he always loves spending time with the Monster Jam fans. But right now, he's loving some air because he's able to get some nice elevation, getting it up in the air in the Bulldozer. Again, the score to beat is 24. That's the number the Eradicator has on the board, and certainly Bulldozer is taking a run at what we saw from the Eradicator. Chuck Warner, with 30 seconds or a little under 30 seconds left in his regulation time, has put himself in a position to get the lead. I think now, though, he's probably going to have to finish big, and there's another nice combination move. Again, you can see the flow, the energy that Chuck is keeping in his run, as strong as anybody we've seen so far in this competition in Toronto. And again, he doubles up again. The combination flowing from one move to another in today's Monster Jam is something the judges require if you want to get some great scores. And he will fill the clock with a cross-thread move, and oh, I thought he was going over, but the truck comes right back for him, so Chuck Warner will get to go into bonus time. This is a very nice freestyle performance from the veteran driver of the Bulldozer. Warner in bonus time. And again, there hasn't been any wasted motion in this freestyle. Chuck has just really gone from one move right to the next. And that's what has been as impressive as anything. As we said earlier, this is such a big floor and a lot of space. Some drivers can get a little lost on it. Warner has not. He's kept focused on going from one move right to the next, and it has been an action-packed freestyle, and the fans certainly have been loving it. We'll see what the judges think about it here in just a second, as Warner's going to wrap bonus time up with some Cyclones. Oh, that's the best we've seen of those tonight as well. Wow, Chuck Warner giving the fans and the judges something to think about, and there you go. The score is a 23, bonus of 3. We've got a new leader, and it's the Bulldozer with a score of 26. And yes, we have some highlights. Look at the elevation from Chuck Warner and Bulldozer, and again, the best flow, the best momentum we've seen so far. But we know there's some guys who can do that, and if they're on their game, a whole lot more, and they're going to be coming up next. Yes, Gravedigger's going to be coming here in just a little bit, young man. Hang on, because we'll be bringing out that black and green wrecking machine. But first, Maximum Destruction gets a shot to try and grab the lead. And you can see Craig Christensen waving to the fans, and the fans getting a great look at the driver, because earlier in racing, Christensen ripped the entire body off. Yes, this is Maximum Destruction. It's Craig Christensen driving a second Max D truck. Tom Mentz hired him to be a part of his team this year, and oh my, those are problems. It's been a rough night for Christensen, and indeed, the truck is shut down this early in the run. Wow. Boy, Craig has got to be the most disappointed driver in the entire house. He was looking forward to going big here for the fans in Canada and the judges. Not much they can do with that. They'll give him a score of 5, and it's a big disappointment for Maximum Destruction. You see, he came out, made the first leap, kind of like Tom Mentz, threw that hand out the window, part of the Max D team, and the truck just shuts down. But for many Canadian fans, this is what they've been waiting for a long time, the return of Dennis Anderson to the north of the United States border, and he is in Toronto looking to double down. And look at the air, oh my! Anderson comes out with the biggest leap we've seen so far, as you expect from the icon. Anderson himself, a 3-time world champion. He took the world freestyle title at the very first Monster Jam World Finals back in 2000, and since then has added a pair of racing championships, both in 2004 and in 2006. Right now, it's all about freestyle. Many will tell you that this guy invented freestyle, because in the early days of Monster Jam racing, Dennis will be the first to admit he had a whole lot of trouble keeping his equipment running all the time. He'd come out often and just take one run, as you see some big air there, and the truck would break down. And so Dennis got to going to the people putting the shows on, the promoters, after he would be knocked out of the racing competition, and he convinced the promoters, hey, we can get our fans behind us and sell some more t-shirts and give the fans what they came to see if you just let me go back out and just run and just hit whatever I want to. Promoters liked it, Anderson did it, and now Freestyle is an intense competition everywhere we go. Anderson is the master. 27 years ago, he founded the Gravedigger team in Virginia. Now he's based in Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina. There are 7 Gravedigger trucks on the circuit, piloted by 7 of the best in the world. But the man is certainly Dennis Anderson, and he is putting on a show. Look at the air, and again, the momentum. We talked about what a great job Chuck Warner did in momentum, but nobody keeps a flow going like Dennis Anderson and Tom Meents. That's why they become the 2 biggest rivals in motorsports, and their freestyle battles generally are something else. Look at this. He's going to ride it and walk it. He has literally stood that truck straight up and down. That is unbelievable. What an incredible performance from Dennis Anderson. The Gravedigger is back in Canada, and every fan is on their feet after those incredible moves. Dennis Anderson is going to be a no-doubt winner of this freestyle competition. It'll end on its roof, and he gave the fans what they wanted. I don't know what that one fan's looking at with a 9, but it is a 29 as Anderson puts on a show, and Darren Palin is going to go over and talk to our double down winner.
How about that? There he is, the master of destruction, Dennis Anderson and Gravedigger. Dennis, you said you would come here to repay a debt. First time in Rogers Center this weekend, and now a huge double down trophy for Dennis Anderson. I mean, man, it doesn't get any better than that. How the heck did you park it, and how did you get it down?
Hey, you know what? I really don't know. I've been driving for 27 years out here. It's pretty amazing sometime. We call it the Gravedigger God. Gravedigger God rides with me a lot of times out there. I just luck up and pull out something good out of my hat. I told you I was on a mission here, and that was to repay a debt to my fans. I haven't been here around 18 or 20 years, but I came here tonight. I doubled down for you guys, and I told you I wouldn't let you down. I love you guys for loving me. I drive that truck for y'all. Thank you very much. I love you, Canada, and I will be back. And I'm going to bring some friends when I come back, and we're going to burn this floor up for you guys next year, and that's a promise. I'd like to thank my crew over there, Dustin Brown, Opie, everybody else's crew guys that helped us last night. Wrench on the truck. I don't do it by myself. These guys behind the scenes make me look like Hollywood out here, and you fans up there make me look like a champ because I drive hard for you guys. I love you guys. I'm going to accept these trophies. I'm carrying them back and putting them on my mantle, and I'll see you guys next Monster Jam. I love y'all for loving us. Bye-bye. Good night.
Hey, don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, Dennis Anderson will be at the autograph session following today's show. There it is, the Double Down Award, a racing win, a freestyle competition win. Dennis Anderson and Gravedigger, how about a warm round of applause from all of us Canadians? Let's give them a standing ovation. Get up, stand up. Let's show them our appreciation. Come on, Canada. Let's do it for Dennis Anderson.
It is phenomenal. What other motorsport, what other sport of any kind can you think of where a driver is having his greatest season 27 years into his career? Well, that's what Dennis Anderson is doing. What a performance as he doubled down, and the Canadian fans, as you could tell, ate every bit of it up. You get a look at the highlights at the Rogers Center in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Again, an outstanding night of action, but you know that's what you're always going to see when you join us for Monster Jam right here. So come on back next time. I'm Scott Douglas. We'll see you next time on Monster Jam.